your project.
Perfect. Well, nice to meet you. My name is Alondra Hernandez. I'm with ETRGB, and all this project is based on the USDA Moorfield Base in Edinburgh, Texas. So I'm going to be discussing kind of investigating the effects of temporal vegetation factors on cattle fever tick dynamics and its questing patterns. This project did start up back in April 2024, and it's still progress until April 2025. So this project is based on a seasonality effect on questing patterns of cattle fever tick. The way that we went through with doing the project was everything was done in a quarantine zone at the lab. We did have two vegetation types that we really want to focus on, which were buffalo grass and mesquite. And then we did have, of course, we had 3 different samples that we would do. We would 3 reps in the morning, 3 reps in the afternoon. We would sample weekly to have more consistent base, allowing Tuesdays to be our days that we would infest each plot with the larvae tick that we did at the lab. So once we would go outside and infest, we would go Friday mornings and Friday afternoons, run our collections. We would always specify temperature and humidity rates, and of course, if it was overcast or it was sunny. And then we would proceed with collecting the larvae ticks using the drag cloth method, allowing us to mimic kind of the movement between the grass area. So it would mimic an Animal Crossing. So once we would do that, we would proceed with taking it back to the lab, freezing off the cloths for about an hour, and then we would hand lid roll each single cloth, and we would label each one, then proceeding with laminating it. And this image just showed kind of like the laminated lid roll sheet as an example, which would then proceed with counting each little larvae tick, furthering on, inputting it into our database, and then running a negative binomial regression model. So to kind of depict the results on what did we collect over that time frame, we did collect that there wasn't a huge difference with grass or mesquite vegetation types, but primarily on the time of the collection, which was 8 a.m. or p.m. collections. We noticed that there's a higher tick abundance in mesquite compared to buffalo grass, and there's a lot more abundance in morning collections compared to afternoon collections. What can be derived from this? We can mention that temperature does play a slightly different perspective on tick abundance, as well as this graph is showing you kind of the increase and decrease throughout the months as they go. We do notice a huge dip around June to August, which were the days that were the highest in weather. So they were humid, it was very sunny, high temperature, meaning that tick survival is very low around those time frames. And then continuing on forward, we do have kind of what really stood out in that project was the period and temperature effects within the questing patterns of this cattle fever tick. Moving on forward, what's the reason on this project? What's the importance behind it? The importance is educating livestock farmers as well as providing any insights on targeted tick management strategies. What we could also educate livestock farmers is knowing what grass is better for them when it comes to introducing livestock into their fields. We could say that mesquite does have a higher chance of tick abundance, or vice versa, as well as allowing USDA to come up with any tick management strategies. Yeah.
All right.